stuff, but that's pretty cool. So I'll let you know. Peace. You want to go to Hey, this is your own. This is Coach Marcus from Pro Fan Talk with Jason Kelsey. Jason, you come on the podcast, right? We're going to make it happen. We're going to make it happen. Go Birds. No. Birds. Yeah. Put some respect on that name. Shout out to you, Tuesday, all day, baby. What's up? Can't tell me Philly ain't lit. Go Birds. If you're talking about it, man,
Get ready for the show, it's about to begin. Pro fan talk when we dive right in. Sports talk, hot takes, ain't nothing we lack. We the real fans, nothing holding us back. Mic check, 1, 2, y'all know the drill. We bringing the energy, we keep it real. From touchdowns to liquid air on the slam dunks on the court. Every sport, every game, we holding down the fort. We breaking down the plays, dissecting the stats. Pro fan talk, we keeping it fat. Debating with passion, no filter, no doubt. We the voice of the fans, we scream and we shout.
What up? What up? What up? What's good? Welcome to the Pro Fan Talk. We are on a Friday evening. What's happening? Getting ready for the Chiefs. Got my new digs ready. Like it. I like it. Got one more thing to do. I got to get my marquee going across the top. Still trying to figure out what I'm going to put on the marquee. I might do just like updated subscriber count, like something like that. Maybe I'll put scores on it. I don't know. But got my people in the background. I let people into the arena, as you can see in the background. Looks pretty good. I was showing the my video from when I was in the parade, so that was cool. Everything looking good, man. Everything looking good. Appreciate the feedback on the setup. Took me a minute to get to this, and you know what? Let me be honest with you. It might change again. I got some stuff that I'm working with. I don't know if you guys know what this is, but I do a little work. I am not very proficient at it, but I do most of my 3D work in Blender and in Twin Motion. But I'm also trying to learn Unreal Engine. I've had Unreal Engine for a while, but that is a bitch to learn. So, but I got a virtual set in Unreal Engine that looks twice as good as this, if you can believe it. But there's some things that I can't do in Unreal Engine that I can do here. Like, for instance, the people that's walking in the background. I'm sure I could do it, but it's a little bit more difficult in Unreal Engine. But I'm gonna mess around with it. But that requires the learning curve with Unreal Engine is a hell of a lot higher than what I'm doing right now. Plus, I like the way this look. I ain't gonna lie, I like the way this look. So we're gonna mess around. You know me, I'm always trying to get better, always trying to step my game up, always trying to present something that ain't nobody else got. So I appreciate the feedback. Tiff, Nina, Function, Carlos as usual, Chris 3K, everybody in the building tonight, man. Who was first out the limo? Lynn was first out the limo tonight. That's what I'm talking about, dog. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. But yeah, we got some things to go over. We got some things to go over. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. Just trying to get things together. Getting ready for this Kansas City Chiefs game, and we've had our first serving of the pancakes where people be flip flopping all the time. The biggest one was Colin Cowherd this week, talking about the whole situation with AJ Brown, and it's like it gets annoying when people like that put it out there. But he's done it faithfully every year. So what do you want? Ain't nothing gonna change. It is what it is by now. So you know, I saw the interview with AJ and his thoughts on it and him having control. And it's like everybody's looking for the drama, man. Everybody is looking for the drama. Let me be honest with you, man. I used to listen to Cowherd a lot. I like Colin Cowherd, but the bigger he got, the more takes he kind of throws out there. And Colin is one of those guys. He's been in the game so long that people take everything he says for gospel. But if you listen to him, this is what he did. This is my opinion of it, right? What he does is he'll be on the show when he's on the show at ESPN, and he'll give his take, right? But in the middle of his take, he'll give you that one line that gives him an out. So it'll be 90-10. It'll be 90% his take, and then he'll give 10% of praise or whatever to kind of give himself that out. So if he's, just as an easy example, if he's talking for 10 minutes about Jalen Hurts, about how he's not an efficient QB or whatever, and then he'll insert that one line, but he knows how to win. You know, he's had all of these things, he's had all these coordinators, and he still wins and MVP of the Super Bowl. He'll say 90% of the bad stuff, he'll say 10% of the good stuff. And then when Jalen Hurts has a good game, all he talks about is the 10%. He totally forgets about the other 90% where he's ripping on them. So I've seen that a few times where he eat the pancakes, man. He be flip flopping. So, and there's a lot of people like that, man. Everything is content now. It is amazing how even with ESPN, even with the ship that is ESPN that is going down, and they've kind of got a life jacket to get into social media now with Pat McAfee and even what Shannon was doing for a time. Oh, good Lord. Colorado's getting their ass spanked right now by Houston. Good grief. Colorado has zero defense. Zero defense. They are getting blasted. But in any case, Cody K, you ain't missed nothing, dog. But even with ESPN in the situation they are in now, I look at ESPN like Toys R Us. Y'all remember when Toys R Us was the game in town, Christmas shopping? You got to get something for your kids. You had to make that trip to Toys R Us. And even though it was a damn madhouse during holiday time, you still made that trip so you could get your GameCube or your PlayStation or whatever it was at the time. But Toys R Us made the mistake of they thought they were the best game in town. And they converted to the online component too late. They waited too late. And by the time they got online, Amazon had taken off and taken over. And that's what ESPN is doing. ESPN was the worldwide leader and the only game in town for so long. What is this little fledgling? What is this YouTube? And, we didn't get much. If you was on YouTube, you didn't get no respect. You didn't get no respect. Very similar. And I think it's funny this, all this stuff happening now. Y'all, does anybody remember what TMZ was when it first came on YouTube? TMZ started on YouTube, if I'm not mistaken, and it was all like paparazzi type stuff, tabloid type stuff. TMZ basically started like it was in the same vein as World Star Hip Hop. All they wanted to show was crazy stuff, fights, hiding in the bushes to see which celebrity had a girlfriend or boyfriend, all of that type of stuff. People did not take TMZ seriously, as opposed to what, like now, it's almost like they operate like a legit news station. And the recent stuff that happened to them, I'm not going to get into that. We're not going to get into that conversation of the why, but I saw what happened and I was like, man, how they done flipped all the way back. And ESPN, and bringing this all back home, ESPN was in the same vein. ESPN was the only game in town for the longest time. They were the only game in town. And they didn't give the online component any respect. They had online content that they didn't support. And then when YouTube became YouTube and that happened and people found other ways to get paid and all of that type of stuff, they were too late to the game. They were way too late to the game. But now you look at every major radio station, every television channel, every news broadcast, everything goes through YouTube simultaneously. So if you broadcasting live on NBC Philly, you can catch it on YouTube too. So what's up, AJ Jones? So it's amazing how, with the situation with Colin Cowherd, with Skip Bayless, with Shannon Sharp, with Stephen A. Smith, all of these guys that started on the worldwide leader and didn't give a damn about what folks was doing on YouTube now. At least Stephen A. Smith was smart enough to get into that game early. Because I remember when he did start his podcast, I couldn't. I can't even call it a podcast anymore. It's when they started their YouTube journey. It was laughable, and people laughed at him for doing that. But he stuck with it, and look at him now. And that's the goal. That's the goal. I'm trying to get to the next level. I'm trying to, close to 8,000 subs. Trying to get to 10,000 subs by the end of the year. Got goals. Trying to get them. Trying to get it popping. So, um, but it was just they were late to the game, and there was a little bit of conceit um, on those people that just thought they had everything together. Appreciate it, Albert. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate the feedback, bro. So I was worried about was I looking too small in the behind the desk because I was trying to get the scale right because I wanted to be like bigger and closer, but I think this is cool. You ain't got to be right there in my grill. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm cool with it, man. Got some other things coming. But I'm good with it. Kept all the posters, kept my jersey in the background, put the big the Eagles logo back there. Had to keep my guy Tom Grossi, man. Had to keep Tom Grossi. I'm hoping that I can connect with Tom Grossi again when the Eagles play the Packers. So that should be a good game. So, but yeah, got my Pro Fan Talk Live, got Chalk It Up Sports, got my man K Saps, Simply Ball Dropping. So we still representing. Man. So, yeah, man, it's where's my? I had a good picture of Jason Kelsey when I was at the Eagles parade. Trying to find. There you go. The Ohio boys. Love that picture. Me, Jason Kelsey, and damn it, why am I always forgetting his name? Brent Selleck. Now, me and Brent Selleck are from Cincinnati. Kelsey is from Cleveland. So, but we still representing Ohio, man. So it's all good. So, but yeah, Lynn, he's a cool dude, hooked on his weekly. Oh, you talking about Tom Grossi? Yes. His little skits are pretty good. He was voted. I believe he was the 2022 NFL Fan of the Year, and that's when his thing kind of blew up. I mean, he had been doing the Packers game and stuff like that. He had been doing that for a while. He'd been on YouTube for I want to say 10, 11 years now. So he's been doing this thing for a minute. So, and he's got that audience, and that's what I'm trying to get to, man. I ain't gonna lie. That's the goal I'm trying to achieve. I was on the stream one night. This joker had 14,000 people live tuning into a stream of him watching the Packers game. I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, man, give me 1% of that. So that's the stuff I'm trying to achieve, man, because he knocking it out of the park. But he is cool. When he raided my channel, if you've ever watched him, you know what the Grossi Posse raid is. He raided me one night. I didn't know what was going on. I went from 25 viewers and literally I blinked and I was at 300. And everybody was talking about Grossi Posse, and you've been hit by the Grossi Posse. You've been raided by the Grossi. I didn't know what it was because I had never seen his channel before. And then finally, it kind of dawned on me what was going on. And somebody in the chat finally kind of really explained it. And I was like, oh, okay. So then I thanked him. And then I subscribed to his channel. And then 2 weeks later, I was in his channel one night, and this was after he raided me. Sent him a super chat. Sent him a $10 super chat. I was like, hey, I'm the dude you raided the other day. Blah, blah, blah. I'm a former Eagle, man. Just want to say appreciate the support. Blah, blah, blah. Hit him back. And then that next game, when I was streaming, but I think that next time it was Eagles and the Packers, he raided me again. So I was like, I appreciate that. And that's why I keep that sticker in the background. Because Tom Grossi was here. So hopefully he'll raid me again. So, but yeah, he was pretty cool, man. So just it's all about making contacts, making relationships, and all that kind of good stuff, man. So, um, but that was cool. Lynn, at the time, I did not. I didn't watch his channel, so I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know what was happening. I was like, where are all these people coming from? The only time that I had like a huge um boost in people that were watching me, I remember during the Olympics, and this is I just plopped it on. I just turned on, I went live. I didn't have a thumbnail, I didn't have a title. I think I put the title as men's 100-meter finals. That was the title. And sight unseen, I just clicked the button, went live, and it was just me watching the 100-meter finals. I got so many people like from Jamaica and other countries that was watching, but I think I ended up with like 500 some people watching the Olympics with me, just on the hum. And I tell you what, man, it is extremely difficult to duplicate that. Extremely difficult. So I always try to figure out like what did I do, like what button did I hit, and how could I do it again? And it is very difficult. It's almost like luck of the draw, but I'm trying to figure out how do you get that consistency to get. That's why I always say my goal is I need to get up to like 100. I want to be able to get to the point where I got like 100 people every time I'm live streaming. So I'm always trying to build. That's why I'm always trying to tell people, like, invite your friends, invite somebody that you know that likes football to come on the podcast, give their opinions, all of that type of stuff, man. So yeah, it's a grind. It's a marathon, not a sprint. But I'm getting there. Poor Coach Prime. Poor Coach Prime. He ain't since Shador left. He ain't got a quarterback. He ain't. The defense still sucks. I don't know what's going on. What up, Carlos? Yeah, Celtics from Cincinnati, man. Cincy boy. We all Ohio boys. What are my concerns for the Chiefs games, if any? Um, my only concern is I think we are the better team right now, and I think we can beat the Chiefs. But Patulo has got to find a way to get the ball in AJ Brown's hands. I'm of the opinion that the first play of every game should be a quick slant to AJ Brown. I don't care how you do it. I don't care where you line them up. The first play should be some type of quick slant to AJ Brown. Figure it the hell out. Figure it out. Whether it's a quick slant, whether it's a screen, get the ball into AJ Brown's hands as soon as humanly possible. The reason why I like the quick slant is because AJ Brown is known to break a tackle or two. So he can turn a 5 to an 8-yard gain into a splash play for 20 plus yards. Get the ball in his hands. So, I know they was playing a lot of zone and stuff like that, but they got zone beaters just like they got man beaters. And you got to expect the unexpected, because I'm telling you, everybody's going to play AJ Brown like Dallas did. It's going to be various levels of success. And I think a lot of it is going to depend on how well Saquon ramps it up, how quickly he ramps it up. But let's be honest, if you look at that game the other day, our offensive line was average at best. Landon Dickerson got hurt. Jordan Mailata got hurt, both on the same play. So it wasn't great. You know what I mean? So Lane Johnson and Mailata got to be better. Landon Dickerson is hurt. So, they got to figure out, what they're going to do. Ryan Staub is 15 for 28 for 139 yards for Colorado and a pick. Yeah, he might be on the bench next week. The way because he got Salter, that kid Salter, but he didn't play well last week either. So it wouldn't surprise me if Salter starts next week, because this dude ain't it. This dude ain't it. I look at this, man, and I'm like, y'all can play. How good Shador was. Shador was a baller, and now he being wasted in freaking Cleveland. I hate that. Media trying to split this team apart. Yeah, that's what I was talking about, Chris. It's they flip flop every year. When AJ Brown has a good game, it'll be like you just quelled the anger or you averted a problem, and it's like there was never a problem. There even and I said this last year, even with the situation that happened last year, that was not a problem. That was AJ Brown saying what it was. That's it. It doesn't always have to be a problem. It doesn't always have to be um, split the locker room. It doesn't have. It's usually not that serious. So Dan Cilio flip flops as well. So Dan Cilio is always, and I listen to some of Cilio stuff. Some I haven't listened to him in a while, but like Cilio knows his stuff, and Cilio knows a lot of people. But sometimes he has these crazy takes, and that kind of feeds into almost like what Ryan Clark says, because I know so many people, because I played the game, I know more than everybody else. And for a lot of times that's true, but a lot of times it ain't. A lot of times all you got is an opinion. And opinions are like assholes. Everybody got one. So he sound crazy sometimes. I remember when he was ripping Jalen Hurts and saying that Jalen Hurts is never going to take the Eagles to a Super Bowl and all that. I remember that stuff. And it's like, then he flip flops. So, it's part of the game now. Or, you can have a difference of opinion. You know what I'm saying? So, but there's no, a lot of times there's no more room for conversation. That's what it is. So a lot of times is there's no room. It's either you agree with me or not, or I don't like you. Get out of my conversation. There's a lot of levels to this type of stuff. So it's not black and white. There is a whole lot of gray. Whole lot of gray. One of the things I wanted to get into tonight was when we talk about Colin Cowherd. Did y'all hear the interview with Tom Brady? And I was like, Tom Brady basically put him on blast. Tom Brady put him on blast. He was like, hold on now. It's like, what makes you think that this player, this quarterback is being coached right, is getting all the tools he needs to get to the next level or to evolve? And like Tom Brady laid it out. And if you notice, Colin tried to set him up, like tee it up, because he thought, you know, it would be Tom Brady just telling people how bad certain quarterbacks were, or why they weren't doing a good job. And Tom Brady was like, "Hold on, let me give you some pushback." Yeah, Chris, Tom killed him. He obliterated him. And after that fact, Cowherd really couldn't say nothing. He couldn't say nothing. Tom Brady laid it out, was like, because I've heard him tell that story before of why he was so good. He told that uh I think he was a Cowherd again in New Orleans and during the Super Bowl. Where Tom Brady said, he said, I wasn't the biggest or the fastest guy. He said, but being able to process defenses and know where to place the ball, he said that was my superpower. He said I could figure out what the defense was doing and where to go with the ball. If the play we were running or the alignment we were in is not conducive to the play we trying to do, I would call a different player, call timeout. He was like, I became an expert of knowing what to do with the ball. And if the situation wasn't right, go to something else. He was like, that was my superpower. And that's what he told Colin. And then he went into, stop assuming that all of these, because the question was about Caleb Williams. And basically Colin was like, he got 11 weeks. And then if I was the owner, we might have to go in a different direction. And the first thing I'm like, that's why guys like Colin Cowherd and all of these other media heads have never been in football. They've never been in the locker room. They've never been in the GM. They've never had to organize a team. They wouldn't know how to organize a team. And if you were a coach, what would you do when you in that situation? And you don't have a good answer because you've never been in that situation. And that goes back to this whole conversation that Ryan Clark started with Peter Schrager getting mad because he was a non-player. And I'm like, Ryan Clark was right. Peter Schrager was wrong. Yes, yes, he was right that statistically, CeeDee Lamb had a good game. But if you are a player and you had a game like CeeDee Lamb where you dropped 3 balls and one of those 3 balls could have won your team the game, you don't care how many yards you had. And that's what Peter Schrager was missing. And that's what Ryan Clark was trying to tell him. And he was 100% right. Only somebody that never played the game would have that type of perspective. And then it was co-signed the next night with Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry was beasting on Buffalo. Then he fumbled the ball. And everybody just forgets that he had like 69 yards that game and 2 touchdowns. He went beast mode on him. But the only thing he gonna remember is I fumbled the ball and we lost the game. I don't give a damn how many yards. I would give it all up to not fumble the game, not fumble the game away. And that was the whole thing that Ryan Clark was trying to say to Peter Schrager. And it turned into this big thing. Like, you don't have to belittle me. And I'm like, he wasn't belittling you, but he was 100% correct. Because then when he finished this point and said what he had to say, all the other athletes on the panel, Dan Orlovsky, who was it, Teddy Bruschi, everybody else co-signed what he said. And then, these media heads, they get butthurt when you get a dose of reality. Like, dude, you can't empathize with the things that I've been through. Even me as a former player, I can't I can't jump on the mic and get with 30 plus years of journalism and how to do interviews and stuff like that. I can't do that. I can jump on YouTube and pretend it. But if you get around somebody that has real journalistic chops, you see the difference very clearly. And I can't jump in that space because it's quite evident. And these media heads, because they always hang around the athletes and the former players and the former coaches, and they, just by proxy of being in the conversation and in the area, they think they know everything. And they don't. You have a team of people backstage and off camera, and their whole job is to shuffle stats into you. You always, what do they do in the news? Right? What do they do in the news? They do this. And they put the notes down that their production team went and got off camera during the commercial. And they know, how do you think they pull those crazy stats out of their head? Those little known stats, Saquon Barkley rushed for 200 yards with his left shoe untied on a Thursday night game 3 years ago. Who pulls up stats like that? They didn't pull that out of their ass. They had a team of people looking up stuff specifically for this show to make it look like they know what they're talking about. And then they got the microphone on. You got people hollering in their ears, telling them what to say. Look at this camera, look at that. They get a ton of help. They don't know everything. So stop pretending like you do. And then when you come across an athlete who has actually been in the situation, you can't tell them that they crazy when they tell you, you don't know what's going on. So he got butthurt. I think Ryan Clark could have made the same exact point had he never said that's the non-player way. If he never would have said non-player, we wouldn't be having a conversation. And he still would have been 100% correct. But I thought it was funny that Peter Schrager took it that way when again, he was 100% right. And then it was proven again with Derrick Henry. So, they get mad. Don't get mad. Don't leave mad. Just leave. Right? It's one of them things, man. So, it's crazy. So, it is what it is. I don't like none of them, man. Fox, ESPN, some of the stuff that you know what, I get more enjoyment. Let me tell you what I've been watching. I watch WIP in the morning with Hugh Douglas. Then I might transition to the afternoon, and because I watch Ike Reese. Ike's a homeboy. He a Cincinnati boy too, so I gotta support Ike. Every now and then I listen to Rob Ellis because I consider Rob Ellis a friend. Um, and I've been listening to a lot of Cleveland sports radio in the morning because I was following Shador and everything that happens. And again, I follow all the Ohio teams. Cincinnati, of course, first. Ohio State, then Cleveland. I follow all the Ohio teams. So um, everybody they think they know everything. Even with the stuff in Cleveland, it's amazing how it starts. Cleveland became the epicenter of the NFL during preseason because everybody was worried about Shador. And now the word is Shador ain't even, I don't know if it's true or not. I haven't vetted that information, but the rumor is that Shador ain't even doing scout team anymore. They got Bailey Zappi doing that. And I'm like, y'all just wasting this kid up there. That's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. So look, T.O. on the sideline for Colorado. It's 36-20, 3:34 left in the fourth quarter. Houston had put belt to ass on Colorado. Colorado has no defense, man. None. So, yeah, WIP had a moments, but that's why I only listen to WIP with Hugh Douglas. Got to be a former player on the panel. Got to be. Period. Got to be. Rhea Hughes doesn't have a show no more. I used to like Rhea Hughes stuff when she was with Angelo, but a lot of times it was hard to listen to Angelo. But that was his shtick, so I understood that. Um, yeah, I got to be John Ritchie in the morning when BG is on there, or when what's his name? Like I said, Hugh Douglas, Ike Reese, and you know, like with stuff like when Kelsey comes on in different days and stuff. It's got to be an ex player so they can explain some stuff, because if there's not a player that can moderate what some of these dudes are saying, they really think their take is the answer. It's like, man, sometimes I think that sometimes what is this? Throw the ball, dog. God, this quarterback for Colorado was so bad. What I think they should do sometimes, and this to me, this would be a good competition. They need to get all of those guys that think they know everything. Yeah, I'm not crazy about Spike Eskin either, but it is what it is. He here, and some people like him. They need to get all of these media heads, all these guys on the radios, make them run, make them play the football simulators, not Madden, not Maximum Football, I'm not talking about that. They got them games out there that are football simulators where you are the GM or owner. So you got to do your draft, you got to scout, the game is a simulation. You're not going to see like a Madden style interface. Most of the games, when you simulate the games, the computer will run it. It might have a little bit of graphics and stuff like that, but it's just spitting out data. This player had this type of yardage and all of that type of stuff. You got these players hurt, this player hurt. So you really have to be a GM. It is a true simulator. It's not about being on the sticks and running that can't miss play against zone coverage like you would on Madden. They got them unstoppable plays. It's not like that. It is a true simulation. You are the GM. You got to do all the moves, do all your scouting. And I would love to see some of those guys do that for a couple of seasons and see how it works out for them. Because they all talk talk that shit about what they would do if this was, well, I would do this. And those simulations are pretty daggone good. Pretty daggone good. So, um, it's you know what, Tiff? They're gonna have good days and bad days. I've been on with Spike and literally had to turn it off because it was like, oh, he annoys me. And then sometimes I'm like, okay, he got a decent take. I'll continue listening. So it's hot and cold, and that's the nature of the beast right now. Because there years ago there were no other options. Now there is. So bring back pros versus Joes. um, yeah, I hate that, AJ. I'm with you on that one. But I'm also the type of person I like keep it real. Let me know how you really feel. One of the things I make a joke about it, and I say, like, I do not like if I'm talking to somebody and they say, "Well, let me be honest with you," because when you say that, that means to me that you've been lying to me the whole time. Why now are you suddenly trying to be honest? You know what I'm saying? I know that's not the case, but I bring it up to make a point in a conversation. It's like you've been lying to me the whole time. Why you just now being honest? So um it's that's the way the sausage is made now, man. Because the truth of the matter is, just like when we doing content creation, um, the more negative stuff that you talk about, the more people are going to tune into you because, and this is the one thing that has not changed. Everybody wants to see the train wreck. Everybody wants to see the train wreck. So, you know, when Howard Eskin got fired, right? What did everybody do? They tuned into WIP to see what Spike was going to say. You see what I'm saying? So, it that's just human nature at this point. So social media now has basically become it's turning into a popularity contest or a farming or whatever term that they come up with now. A lot of people, this is how I say it. I say this to my wife all the time. There are a lot of people that have something to say just so they can say, I had something to say. They don't want to help solve a problem. They don't want to add anything enlightening to the conversation. They just want to say something so they can say, I had something to say. So I use that example when I'm talking about the WNBA. When Caitlin Clark happened last year and this year, there was a lot of people that couldn't give two shits about the WNBA a couple years ago. And all of a sudden, and I'm not talking about people that are in the sports, because I'm one of those people. I'm basically a second year WNBA fan. Now I can tell you that I watched years ago to follow Kelsey Mitchell, because that's my homegirl, personal thing. Her father was a friend of mine, R.I.P. Big Mark. But um, I didn't watch the league. I didn't watch games. I was pinpointing, hey, is Kelsey Mitchell playing? I want to watch her. I want to support her because I'm biased with her. I have a personal stake in her. I didn't watch the league. But you got political people now chiming in, and everybody got something to say. Like, you don't even know half these girls' names. You don't care about these women. You don't care about the game. But they got something to say so they can tell people I had something to say. So when something pops off, the first thing they'll do is, remember when I said 3 weeks ago? Remember I said here on my show, I was the first one to say it. Like, come on, dog. You saw somebody else do stuff. And the funny thing is, because of what I do for a living, the graphics and stuff, I am in tune with AI and the things that AI can do. And I know that people don't check. I know people don't vet information now. People don't do their homework. And it is very easy to get hoodwinked. You ain't got to be hoodwinked now. It's just like folks ain't paying attention. Don't tell me that what you saw on the internet was real. And if you just take a second to look, like, yeah, that girl got a big booty, but she also got 7 fingers. It don't look right. You know what I'm saying? You just got to pay attention to some of the stuff. Period. So, um, it can get, with the stuff like that, I know what I'm looking for. And I know who's genuine and who's not, and when something is for real and when something is just straight BS. So it's all good. Yeah, man. Colin be flip flopping. Colin be flip flopping, man. So you ain't wrong. He definitely be flip flopping. So um, it's all good. It's all good. All you got to do is stay on task. There's too many. There's too many situations, and almost every situation you can go somewhere and dig up the information and find out what it is. You can do that. So, and that's what I try to do. And I try to be honest. Because I remember last year when the whole situation with AJ Brown happened. I remember the first thing I said was AJ was right. The passing game is the problem. And it ain't about ripping on nobody. That was a response that you see that you have in film session that just happened to be, he answered the question succinctly, direct to the point, the passing game. He didn't try to throw nobody under the bus, and everybody knew what it was. And they just wanted to create some type of stir because he said it. Like, it was pretty damn obvious. Then all of a sudden, you know, they having issues and Brandon Graham gets on the radio and does what he does. I was like, Lord have mercy. I was like, don't feed into the nonsense. Handle the business like you've been handling business. This ain't the first time that you might have a disagreement in the locker room. That's what's supposed to happen. The locker room is your family. And anybody in the chat, if you got family, you know families fight, period. That don't mean that they don't love each other. That just means that they fight. And the locker room is your family. And you ain't gonna get along with everybody all the time. It just doesn't work that way. So yeah, Tiff, I'm with you. I'm hoping Shador gets traded to somewhere like Vegas or something like, I don't know. Get him somewhere where he will have a legitimate opportunity to play. Joe Flacco is playing well, but Joe Flacco ain't gonna make the end of the year. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. We'll see what's gonna happen. It's gonna play itself out one way or the other. That's for sure. It's gonna play itself out, and we just got to be ready for the aftermath. And you know, Shador's got a following now. You know what I'm saying? He's got a big following, and it's gonna get. It ain't going nowhere. I see all them people following him when he's going to the mall in Cleveland. The last time Cleveland was lit like that was when LeBron was there. So, damn, this dude threw another pick. This quarterback from Colorado is hot garbage. Stop. He threw another pick. He tried to go deep. Oh my God. He wasn't nowhere close to the receiver he was throwing to. Did this dude take it back to the house? Oh no, he slid down. He should have scored and put a 40 burger on him. Oh my God. Yeah. If you saw my tweet, Tiff, I said that last night. I saw when it happened, and I was like, yeah, he got dinged up on the tackle. He got sacked. And his ankle, I think he probably got like a high ankle sprain or something like that. Yep, I saw that play when it happened. Yep. So if they get Prime out of there, Chris, who they gonna get? And it ain't gonna matter who they get if they ain't got a quarterback. So yeah, he did play like buns last night. So sophomore slump is real. Don't get it twisted. So he gonna have some good games and some bad games, you know. But like I said, the sophomore slump is real. And you got to stay healthy. You saw Austin Eckler went down. As soon as it happened, I was like, he popped his Achilles. Because didn't nobody touch him. Didn't nobody touch him. Like he popped his Achilles. He's done. And then when he sat down on the bench, you saw it in his face. He was like, he knew it was a wrap. So, he might be done. I don't know. What's Austin? How old is Austin Eckler? He 30 years old. He done. He done. Everybody can't be Brandon Graham. Everybody can't be Brandon Graham and tear your Achilles and then tear a tricep. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't built like that. So you a 30-year-old running back, I don't see you coming back from that. You had a good run. It's a shame it had to end like that. But very rarely do players walk away from the game. Usually the game spits them out. And that's a prime example of the game spitting you out. So, yeah, when you know it's over, you 30 years old and you just popping your Achilles, and you a running back, you take punishment every time you touch the ball. It ain't like Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, to be honest with you, Aaron Rodgers just didn't want to end his career with the Jets. If he'd have been with another team, he may have retired earlier, but he didn't want to retire a damn Jet. So, Debo was the best thing they had the other night. Everybody clowned on Debo because he had gained all that weight, but he still looked like he can move. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. So, yeah, that O-line is very suspect. I agree with you 100%. That O-line is very suspect. So we got opportunities to to do some crazy stuff. We got to get our offensive line together, but I think we should be able to handle that business when it's time to handle that business. So, yeah, it's they got warts. You know what I'm saying? They got warts. Let's see. They're Big Jordan. I like that picture. That picture right there. See Philadelphia in the background. Debo look like somebody's pop. As a true pop, I'm offended. That was funny, Lynn. That was funny. Garbage time. You can argue that, but he still looked halfway decent. And he's gonna get a lot of carries now that Eckler is out. So he's gonna move him back to running back. He ain't gonna be a receiver no more. So I tell you what, damn Micah Parsons has made Larry Tunsil look like a damn rookie a couple times. Micah, here's what I say about Micah Parsons. He is no longer drinking the alcohol that was the Dallas Cowboys. And his body and his mind is really starting to heal now. He is sobered up. He's not drunk off the Cowboys Kool-Aid and everything that they got going on down there. If I can go back to college real quick, the Dallas Cowboys is like a big ass bowl full of hooch. You got different types of fruit in there, and Lord knows what kind of liquor they dumping in there with it. That's what the Cowboys are. They just a big ass bowl of hooch. And every time you take a glass, it don't take much for you to get drunk off of the circus that is the Dallas Cowboys down there. And now that he's off that alcohol, and he got some he got some fiber in him, got some substance in him in Green Bay, and you can focus a little bit better and understanding that you got one job. Your job is to get to the quarterback, and that's what he's doing. He got 2 sacks in 2 games. 2 sacks in 2 games. What else do you want? I did not, Tiff. What did he say? I did not hear what Jerry said. What did he say? Indiana beat Indiana State 73-0. Lord have mercy. I almost went to Indiana State out of high school. Almost. NFC North not ready for NFC East players. I wouldn't say that, Lynn. I wouldn't say that because I'm not. I don't believe in that. I believe, again, my philosophy. Let's give it 2 more weeks. Let's give it 2 more weeks as we go into week 4, and then if the next 2 games, the Green Bay defense is still doing what they're doing, then you got to give them credit. Maybe, but at the end of the day, they still got to come see us. They still got to come see us sometime this year, and that's going to be a good game. So we'll see what's going to happen. We've been one of them teams that have done a good job handling Micah Parsons over the years. So we'll see what he continues to do and what he looks like as the season goes on. We'll see how that manifests. Oh, he said they yeah. Now here's the question, Tiff. Who believes that? Who actually believes that? Don't nobody in Dallas believe that. Their offensive line is Suslin, but let's keep it real. The defense with Micah Parsons, he's a big part of it, is looking good. Jordan Love is delivering the ball on time and on target. AJ, y'all not wrong. You're not wrong about Jordan Love. However, let us remember that's the same thing people said about Jalen Hurts. There was always something wrong. He was never good enough. All he did was win, but he didn't throw for a lot of yards. He throws the ball. There's always something to bitch about. There's always something to bitch about. At the end of the day, Jordan Love played well enough to get the win, the beatdown win. So that's all that matters. So if I'm going to say it against Jalen Hurts, at least I got to do is acknowledge it with Jordan Love. He's playing well enough to win, and he's only going to get better because he's getting them snaps. He's getting more and more comfortable in the pocket, and we're going to find out this year what he is capable of, what his ceiling is. If we can say it for Jalen, we got to acknowledge it with Jordan. So it's going to be a tight game. Hopefully by the end, we'll have our CB2 locked in. Yeah, Jerry Jones, the best thing Jerry Jones has done in the last couple of years was his bit part on Landmen. You ever seen Landmen with Billy Bob Thornton and they all oil men and all that? Check that out. Check out Jerry Jones, YouTube it. Jerry Jones on Landman. And check out his part, what happened, what he did, how he looked on camera, all of that type of stuff. It was a great little sequence. About a 5-minute sequence on the show. Very impactful if you take it into context. So that's going to be the best thing he's done in the last couple of years, if he ain't careful. So they still got a lot of holes to fill. Look at the situation with the Giants now. Y'all got rid of Danny Dimes, and Danny Dimes becomes a captain in Indianapolis. And just look at what Danny Dimes can do when he has an offensive line that can block. Did we forget about that? Everybody was so busy worrying about what Saquon just did, forgetting the fact that the reason why Danny Dimes couldn't do anything in New York was because your offensive line was hot garbage. Saquon Barkley did what he did, and their offensive line was hot garbage. So it's amazing what you do or what you are capable of when you got a team. You can only be great by the greatness of others. Ain't that what it say? Ain't that what Sirianni says? You got to have a squad to push it. You got to have a squad to drive the engine, to feed it. Saquon Barkley doesn't get 2,000 yards if the offensive line sucks. I don't understand why the Giants didn't address it. They decided to give Daniel Jones all that money and ain't got nothing to show for it. Yeah, Daniel Jones is with the Colts. And get this, Daniel Jones is the starter for the Colts, and they made him a captain. Anthony Richardson ain't going to never recover from taking himself out the game. He is never going to recover from that. That will always hang over his head. Always. All right. Adoree Jackson's going to get another shot at cornerback too. I don't know what we're going to get. I do not know what's going to happen with Adoree Jackson because the last experiment like that, it did not end well. So hopefully, with another week of game film and study and Vic Fangio on top of your ass, hopefully we can get a better performance. We've got to get a better job out of Adoree Jackson, or put Keely Ringo back in there. Somebody younger and faster and bigger. Go ahead, put somebody else in there. You saw what Slay said about him. Oh my God. Slay was saying a whole lot by not saying nothing. But here's the thing. Here's the thing about the situation we're in at CB2. I'm actually expecting Adoree Jackson to have a good game against Kansas City, because if Adoree Jackson, he knows his time is limited, he knows his leash is short. So he has got to play better. He can't play any worse than what he did. So he has to play better because the stakes is high. We'll see though. That's why you lace them up. Yeah, I saw that, Tiff, on Richard Sherman's podcast. He said a lot without saying much. We still could have got Slay back or Isaiah Rogers, but there's a reason why we let him go. Yeah, with Worthy out, it should be a little bit better. First, they were talking about Worthy's going to try to play. Now he's questionable. Yeah, what that sounds like to me is that Worthy was wearing that brace and he bumped up against somebody and he thought better of the situation. But we'll see. You got a week to get it together, bro. You got a week to get it together. Or you might be promoted to fan. I don't know how they're gonna do that, but you do not want to get in the doghouse with Vic Fangio. That's for damn sure. So yeah, you got Juju Smith-Schuster and Hollywood Brown. Yeah, you are 100% right. But be real. Do you expect that type of production from them? Yeah, I saw that. They said Slay said he talked to Jalen Carter. Listen, Jalen Carter, for everything that went down, there's another silver lining with Jalen Carter. He knows his leash is short. He knows everybody's looking for him. He knows that they're going to bring up his history of unsportsmanlike situations in the league. So his leash is very, very short. And he's going to be playing with a chip on his shoulder. He's going to be playing with a chip on his shoulder going forward. When we play Dallas, oh my goodness. He's going to be trying to wreck shop. So I'm looking for Jalen Carter is going to, I'd like to say that he got the message. I'd like to say that, but I need to see it. And no news is good news. I mean, that's the best way you can kind of describe it. So Jalen Carter's got some showing and proving to do. But when a kid like that's got to stick up his butt, yeah, I remember that. Nah, I doubt that. Just the right people. Because that's a very delicate situation. That's a situation where you don't want everybody talking to Jalen Carter. That would be counterproductive. There's a couple voices that he needs to hear. He needs to hear Jeffrey Lurie, or not Jeffrey Lurie, but Howie Roseman or Nick Sirianni. He needs to hear Jeff Stoutland or one of the defensive coordinators. And he needs to hear Howie's voice. Because Howie is the guy that makes sure he gets paid. So it'll be interesting to see how he fares this game. Because every time he does something, they're gonna want to bring it up. And he can't control that. So we'll see. We got some irons in the fire. What's up, Robert M? I hate switching offensive coordinators every year. I wish Shane Steichen could have stayed. I wish Shane Steichen could have stayed. But it is what it is. We can't nitpick because we getting all these new coordinators. We done been in the Super Bowl twice in 3 years. So don't nitpick the coordinators. Hey, a game check is a game check. Jalen Carter did not plan on spending 50 grand at the game. Trust me. Yes, he can afford it. I get all of that. But 50 grand is 50 grand. Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's the price. Everybody want to poach from your tree. That's what you deal with. It's exactly what you deal with. So, but we've been rocking for an hour, 10 minutes. And I think we good to go. I'm sure there's gonna be some news out tomorrow. I am going to be looking to put out my. I started a video about the whole Ryan Clark thing. I talked about it tonight. I was trying to put a video together specifically about that. I might try to get that up tomorrow. Um, Me and the wife gonna get up early tomorrow. Hit the Amish market. Maybe I can give me some sausage. But yeah, I'll be in tomorrow. I'll probably be streaming. I don't know what game, but I'll probably be streaming one of the college games. So Lynn, now we playing with my money. I agree with you 100%. Like I said, he didn't plan on spending 50K. Didn't plan on that. So, but yeah, that chicken is great. Any chicken in the Amish, I get their sausage, I get their pork belly, and usually my wife gets we get the turkey ham. I don't know if you've ever had turkey ham. It's really good. It's just cured turkey slices, like deli style slices. So it's just cured, and it does taste like ham, but it is turkey. So if you go to an Amish market or one of those mom and pop type delis, ask for turkey ham and see if they got it. It's phenomenal. Tastes good when you just take the super thin slices and you put it in the skillet and you fry it and eat it with eggs. It's phenomenal. So I am going to get up out of here. Chris 3K, we are 11 o'clock on Sunday, bro. Me and Tone, 11 o'clock on Sunday. So, and then we are at 7:30 on Tuesday. So what up, Daniels? Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate everybody in the chat, man. Appreciate everybody in the chat. So Alex, Georgia versus Tennessee at 12:30. That might be the one. All depends on what wife got me doing. So that might be the one to stream right there. So we shall see. But I'm gonna get out of here. Y'all have a good night. Enjoy y'all weekend. Be safe. Yeah, we'll be dropping our score predictions. We'll be dropping our score predictions on Sunday. We're giving our bold takes and stuff like that. So make sure you check out me and Tone. You can watch the show on my channel, Pro Fan Talk, or on Tone's channel, Chalk It Up Sports. That's why you see it in my background back there. So, but yeah, we'll be dropping score predictions, man, for sure. So, but I'm gonna get up out of here, man. Get some sleep. Y'all have a great weekend, and I will holla at y'all later. Go Birds.